Welcome back, everyone. I am Ink, the music guru of the Culture Couture podcast, and we are diving into a year that reminded everyone, yet again, that Black women don't just participate in music and the music industry, we define it. 2025 has been a year of comebacks, breakthroughs, breakouts, and reckonings. From the newcomers keeping the game fresh, to the icons proving that longevity is a skill, to the women pushing through controversy and shifting narratives, Black women have shaped the industry and the sound and the story of this year in a way that nobody else has. So let's get into it. Let's start with emerging voices. The women who weren't just new artists, but forces shifting entire genres. I've been saying this since time again.
I said what I said.
For the last 3 years, if you asked me who was next up, I said her name loudly and proudly, Madam Doechii. Doechii has continued her run as one of the most creatively unpredictable artists out right now. She blurred the line between hip hop and alt pop and avant-garde R&B. She flipped effortlessly between singing and spitting and performing like the stage was built specifically for her. Doechii's 2025 rollout was thoughtful. And I think that's kind of an ongoing trend when it comes to TDE. They have very thoughtful rollouts when it comes to their artists. They have successfully rolled out artists from whether it's SZA, Isaiah Rashad, Kendrick Lamar, you name it. When it comes from TDE, it's going to be a successful rollout. Doechii had visually stunning videos, a project full of textures and experimentation, and a fan base that continues to grow. Her project, Alligator Bites Never Heal, won Best Rap Album at the 2025 Grammys and remains a defining project.
This category was introduced in 1989, and 2 women have won. Lauryn Hill, 3 women have won. Lauryn Hill, Cardi B, and Doechii.
She released the single Nosebleeds in February following her win at the Grammys. And if you check online, she also mentions that she was going to re-record Anxiety, which was a song that went viral. And when she did so, it went viral again. Doechii doesn't just make music or just make songs. She creates worlds. And this year, the world finally caught up. Shout out to Doechii. Now let's talk about the women who took a deep breath, stepped away, recalibrated, and came back like they never left. If you don't know, I'm talking about Lizzo. Yeah. In 2025, Lizzo reminded everybody why she's such a generational talent. After taking some time to navigate some really public scrutiny, some kind of aggressive public scrutiny, she returned with a renewed sense of purpose. Her new music emphasized healing, liberation, and resilience, and you can hear it in the confidence of production and the warmth of her voice. And her comeback wasn't just musical, it was emotional. Lizzo reclaimed her narrative with grace, humor, and transparency, and honestly, the game needed her back. So in February, she dropped Love in Real Life, and it was her first major single in a while. And then in March, she followed it with Still Bad, which was like a funky self-love anthem with like a disco and 80s influence, and it was cute. But then she popped out with My Face Hurts from Smiling in June and had some collaborations with SZA and Doja Cat. And let me just tell you, that's what I've been needing to hear this whole time. You heard me say it in the last episode of the Culture Couture podcast.
One thing before I go, Lizzo, I'm looking in the camera. Lizzo, you should have been doing this the whole time. When y'all ready to talk about it, you ready to talk about it.
Talk about it.
Real quick, let's talk about it real quick. Lizzo's new mixtape, It Hurts, My Face Hurts from Smiling. You should have been doing that shit the whole time. I don't really care for the Gap commercial music. Personally, I'm always rooting for Black women to win. But if your shit sounded like that from jump, you'd have never lost.
That's what the fuck you should have been doing this whole time. Excuse my language, but I gotta be serious. That's what I've been wanting to hear this entire time. Lizzo popped out with My Face Hurts from Smiling, and honestly, my face was hurting from smiling because I was so proud and so appreciative of the quality of the music and the strategic choice in collaborations, because those voices on that album are also women who have faced massive public scrutiny with SZA and all the Drake nonsense, and then Doja, who just never leaves anyone's microscope.
Talk that tea.
My Face Hurts from Smiling was an incredible contribution to Lizzo's work. Now, we cannot talk about comebacks and people having their biggest returns without talking about Cardi B. After years of anticipation, Cardi B finally dropped her second album, Am I the Drama, on September 19th of 2025, and it debuted #1 on the Billboard 200 and sold about 200,000 units. And while it was the biggest week for a female hip-hop artist of the year, I'm not gonna lie, it left a bit to be desired. But that's just in my personal opinion.
That's my opinion!
However, what is the purpose of opinions if we're not talking about facts? So we got to talk about the facts. And the facts are Cardi warmed things up with Outside. June 20th, she dropped Outside in a debut top 10 and it hit #1. What can you say? That's a fact. Then she dropped Imaginary Players on August 15th, which was a nod to Jay-Z. And that kind of set the tone for the whole album rollout. Jay-Z being one of the more controversial and statistically the most successful rapper there has ever been. And so that kind of set the tone for what this album was going to be. And the fact is, even she dropped that album, it debuted at #1. It just is what it is. And in classic Cardi fashion, she continued to make her rollout not just a moment, but set records. And she set a Guinness World Record for the most drone deliveries in an hour, which was 176 packages that were distributed through the air, which were signed copies of her album. So it was a PR stunt and a flex.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. I'm out here trying to sell these CDs. $9.99. These are $15 right here, though. $20.
So Am I the Drama is not just a return. It's Cardi kind of reclaiming her space and proving that she still has a hold on the charts and the conversations and in some ways the culture. And in a year where Black women dominated every lane, Cardi added pure spectacle and star power. You can't take it from her. Now let's address the artist whose 2025 was not driven by achievements, but by controversy and public response and shifting reputations. That crown goes to Queen Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj's legacy in rap is undeniable, okay? Nicki Minaj changed the game for women, full stop. There is no question about it. No matter how many influences she took from previous generations, Nicki Minaj set a tone for women rappers in modern day hip hop. I'm never gonna take that away from her.
My worst critic. Like I never think I'm doing enough. I always think and I need to step it up, step your cookies up. Like I tell myself that all the time because the minute you don't, you'll fall off.
However, in 2025, that conversation definitely shifted. Legal issues, public conflicts, and an increasingly chaotic digital presence overshadowed her music a lot. And most recently, Nicki Minaj was invited by widely known racist Mike Waltz to speak at the UN regarding religious persecution in Nigeria. And while on one hand, that sounds profound and powerful, two things have to be noted. The first, being highly favored by this administration is not a flex at all.
Talk that tea.
And the second thing, and this was pointed out by Deontay Kyle, hopping into geopolitics is given a lot like you in Cardi's bag. Because Cardi has been talking about the political sphere since she had her original teeth and was smoking cigarettes in the hallway. You can't tell me she wasn't because it's documented on the internet. So it's looking a little strange to me.
You alright?
Huh?
You okay?
Lately, fans who felt once really deeply connected to Nicki Minaj, her music is a part of their eras, their childhoods. A lot of them have recently become very distant. And culturally, there's been a real conversation about separating influence from current impact.
I feel like Cardi B definitely brought back that hope of girls could rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cause for a long time, Nicki seemed so unattainable and that's part of the lore too.
Yes.
Of why I was so obsessed. Cause I'm only she could do it.
It's a reminder that longevity isn't just about talent. It's about evolution and accountability and grounding. Nicki Minaj's story may not be finished, but this chapter has been undeniably turbulent. And then there are the anchors. The women whose names alone can shift a release calendar. The people who change the game for real. The ones who step out and the world collectively hits pause. That crown goes to the one, the only Beyoncé, who remains the blueprint of music. Beyoncé continues to do what Beyoncé does. That's redefine excellence and set records. Every year, she proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that she is the top. In 2025, she delivered yet another studio masterclass with vocals which were unmatched and visuals that felt like cinema and a cultural impact that isn't just wide, but deep. Beyoncé is no longer participating in conversations about the state of music. She is the state of music. She sets the curve. She sets the expectations.
Beyonce.
She sets the limits and breaks them. Beyoncé's consistency is a discipline, a commitment, a rare kind of artistry we're very lucky to be alive in this lifetime to witness. Beyoncé is not just a superstar, she is the superstar. She's a superstar who doesn't just stay relevant, but she anchors the culture. In 2025, Beyoncé announced her Cowboy Carter tour, which built on this Western country aesthetic that she's been weaving. Her Cowboy Carter era still resonates strongly. She's proven that she can not only pivot genres, but she can do it bigger than anyone before her. Her first week sales for Cowboy Carter were 407,000 album equivalent units, which nowadays is a little bit unheard of. Her streams sat at 300 million streams in the first week, and she had 168,000 traditional sales on top of 62,000 vinyl copies, which were sold for the Cowboy Carter album. As far as her chart performance, Cowboy Carter debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 and became the first album by a Black woman to top the top country albums chart. Overall, Cowboy Carter, the tour, grossed $407.6 million. There were 1.6 million tickets sold across 32 shows, and she set the record at the shortest tour to reach $400 million. Cowboy Carter has remained an influential album, but it was so influential. It led to the Recording Academy splitting the Best Country Album into 2 new categories for 2026, Best Traditional Country Album and Best Contemporary Country Album, which is just white people speak for. We're never going to outsell Beyoncé in this category again, so we need to give white people a chance to feel special. And I mean that. Nobody does it like Beyoncé. No one will ever do it like Beyoncé. And like I said earlier, we are grateful to be living in this timeline. If 2025 proved anything, it's that Black women remain the heartbeat of modern music. We are the innovators. We are the storytellers. We are the genre benders. We are the legends. We are the rule breakers. We are the trendsetters. From the newcomers stepping boldly into their artistry, to the women returning stronger and clearer, to the icons setting standards the industry can barely keep up with. Black women continue to be the past, present, and future of the music landscape. And as long as Black women keep creating, music will keep evolving. Thank you for tuning in. I am Ink, the music guru of the Culture Couture podcast, and I will see you next year.